Lesson: Cultural Considerations in International Contracts. Cultural considerations in international contracts are paramount for successful cross-border business dealings. These contracts are not merely legal documents, but also embody the cultural nuances of the parties involved. Understanding and appropriately addressing these cultural differences can prevent misunderstandings, foster better relationships, and lead to more effective international collaborations. At the heart of international contract negotiations is communication. Different cultures have distinct communication styles, which can significantly impact contract discussions. For instance, high-context cultures like Japan or Saudi Arabia rely heavily on implicit communication and nonverbal cues, whereas low-context cultures such as the United States and Germany prioritize direct and explicit communication. Misinterpretations can arise when a party from a low-context culture perceives the indirectness of a high-context culture as evasiveness or lack of clarity. Therefore, professionals involved in international contracts must develop cultural intelligence, which involves being aware of and adapting to different cultural communication styles. A practical tool to navigate these differences is the cultural dimensions theory proposed by Geert Hofstede. This framework allows contract specialists to assess cultural differences across dimensions, such as individualism versus collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, and power distance. For example, in cultures with high power distance, decisions are typically made by senior executives, and it may be considered disrespectful for lower-level employees to contribute to negotiations. Understanding these dynamics helps in structuring the negotiation process appropriately, ensuring that all parties feel respected and valued. Another critical cultural consideration is the concept of time. In monochronic cultures, such as Germany and Switzerland, time is viewed linearly, with a strong emphasis on schedules and deadlines. Conversely, polychronic cultures like those in Latin America and the Middle East view time more fluidly, prioritizing relationships over strict adherence to timelines. This can affect contract performance expectations and deadlines. To address these differences, a contract specialist can employ timeline flexibility techniques, such as buffer periods or phased delivery schedules, to accommodate varying cultural perceptions of time without compromising the contract's objectives. One of the most effective frameworks for understanding cultural influences on contracts is Franz Trompenaar's 7 Dimensions of Culture. This model includes aspects like universalism versus particularism, which examines whether a culture believes in applying rules universally or adapting them based on relationships and context. For instance, in a universalist culture, contract enforcement is strict and deviations are seldom tolerated, while particularist cultures may expect flexibility based on relational dynamics. A contract drafted with these insights in mind would explicitly outline the degree of flexibility in contract terms, thereby reducing potential conflicts. Case studies further illustrate the importance of cultural considerations. Consider the joint venture between Daimler-Benz and Chrysler in the late 1990s. The merger was initially seen as a union of equals, but cultural clashes ultimately led to its failure. German managers from Daimler-Benz prioritized hierarchy and engineering precision, while American managers from Chrysler valued individualism and market-driven innovation. These cultural misalignments led to significant strategic and operational discord, emphasizing the necessity for cultural due diligence in international contracts. Moreover, the negotiation process itself is deeply influenced by cultural norms. In some cultures, negotiations are seen as a zero-sum game, where one's gain is another's loss, while others view it as a collaborative process aimed at mutual benefit. Contract specialists can employ negotiation strategies that align with these cultural perceptions. For example, integrative negotiation techniques, which focus on creating win-win scenarios, may be more effective in cultures that value relationship building and long-term partnerships. Conversely, distributive negotiation tactics, which emphasize maximizing one's gains, might be more suitable in competitive cultural environments. Statistics further shed light on the importance of cultural considerations. According to a study by the Economist Intelligence Unit, 70% of international business failures are attributed to cultural differences. underscoring the critical need for cultural competence in international contracts. This statistic highlights the potential risks of neglecting cultural factors and the importance of incorporating cultural awareness into contract management processes. Legal traditions also vary significantly across cultures, influencing contract law and enforcement. Common law systems, prevalent in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, rely heavily on case law and judicial precedent. In contrast, civil law systems, found in countries such as France and Japan, are based on comprehensive statutes and codes. Understanding these legal frameworks is crucial for drafting contracts that are enforceable in the respective jurisdictions. Contract specialists can benefit from legal comparative analysis tools that highlight key differences and similarities between legal systems, aiding in the development of contracts that are both culturally sensitive and legally sound. In practice, contract law specialists should also consider the role of cultural intermediaries or consultants who can bridge cultural gaps during contract negotiations and execution. These professionals possess deep insights into both the home and host cultures, providing guidance on cultural etiquette, negotiation styles, and local business practices. Their expertise can be invaluable in anticipating cultural challenges and crafting solutions that are acceptable to all parties involved. In conclusion, cultural considerations in international contracts are not merely an adjunct to legal and commercial factors. They are integral to the success of cross-border agreements. By leveraging frameworks like Hofstede's cultural dimensions and Trompenard's 7 dimensions of culture, employing adaptive communication and negotiation strategies, and understanding the legal nuances of different jurisdictions, contract specialists can effectively navigate the complexities of international contracts. The integration of cultural intelligence into the contract management process not only mitigates risks, but also enhances the potential for successful and sustainable international collaborations.